Good evening. This is Southeastern 16 presented by FanDuel. I'm your host, Chris Lee. This is SEC Evening Football Reaction. Got games going. As we're doing this, I've got 5 games right in front of me. You can't see my TV set up. Boy, I'm watching some football at the moment. We are here to talk the evening slate of games, headlined by Missouri, which took on Lenore Sellers in South Carolina in a game that was more interesting than I thought it was going to be. Missouri prevails by this one, 29-20, gets a field goal in the last couple of minutes. And boy, field goal kicking has been a nerve-wracking experience for Missouri fans to take that one. We've got Vanderbilt is hammering Georgia Southern as we speak. Florida is making it interesting with Miami 13-7 deep in the fourth here. Florida could not move the ball at all, but is starting to do that. LSU is, as predicted, putting away Southeastern Louisiana, and Arch Manning finally had a good day today. But hey, I'm doing this solo, and full confession here, guys. I watched as much as I could today, but when there's a bunch of games going on at once, and I'm doing it solo, it's going to be a challenge, but we'll make it. And one reason we're going to make it, I got you guys in the chat, and boy, Missouri fans are fired up. You guys should be. I've been trying to tell everybody Missouri is one of the more underrated teams around. I watched that team, other than maybe field goal kicking, which I can explain by the fact that their kicker got hurt first game. This is a complete team, I think. It is physical. It's got speed at the skill positions. And I got a beef with the college football world. You look at the Heisman boards, okay? What are they? Quarterback here, quarterback there, quarterbacks everywhere. Have we gotten to the point in sports that all we can recognize is quarterback play? Because I'm telling you what, I think we need to start talking about Ahmad Hardy for the Heisman. That kid is a flat-out runner. He can run around you, through you. He can do whatever you need. Missouri is so physical in that run game. And sometimes that includes the quarterback too. But I've been trying to tell people, I get it. The teams Missouri has played early, not top 10 teams. But just turn on the TV and watch these guys play. And you tell me what they're lacking. Now, Missouri fans, there's a lot of you here. Yeah, I want to hear what you're concerned about right now. Because, boy, I can name the things that I like on this team. And if you've listened to the show, you have heard them. But I want to know, like, what is there to be concerned about? I mean, I guess you could say Lenore Sellers threw for 302 tonight. Okay. You also held South Carolina to -9 yards rushing, I think, as a team. And then, look, they've got a couple of dudes at the running back position. But Eli Drinkwitz said all offseason, the front seven's really good. He's right. So, yeah, you let Carolina throw for a little more than it has this year. But it's Lenore Sellers. He's super gifted. You knew that could happen. And I'm getting here. Blake, I'll have you pull up some of the comments. Secondary is a problem. Big passing plays. Okay, that's a pretty unanimous verdict so far. But you know what? Name me a team that doesn't have an issue somewhere. Because I think everybody in the league's got one. Kicking is a concern. That's for sure. But you know what? You hit a field goal late when you really, really needed it. And boy, that's kind of something you wanted to see, right? Because Missouri's been in a lot of one-score games the last 3 or 4 years. And you've always had that kicker who could come through for you. You got stuck in a spot this year where your guy got hurt in the opener. And, it's been a little dicey at times. But I think seeing a get one down the stretch tonight in a game that mattered, I don't know. I think that's a big deal. Next time the kid lines up to kick one like that, he's already been through it. That matters some places. I won't name names, but you can ask some teams in this league about last-minute field goals. Florida, looking up at this one, And if you're catching us on the replay, we're doing this at about 9:45 Central. So not all the games over yet. Most of the games that are still going are blowouts. And we'll get to some of these later. But yeah. Florida's got the ball inside the 5. Or excuse me, Miami does. Pardon me. So if Miami gets one here, that should about do it for the Gators. But yeah, get your chats in. Get your super chats. Let's run down the scoreboard from the day. Again, Miami and Florida still going. Miami only 1 as we speak. Ready to punch in the final nail in Florida's coffin in this one. Vanderbilt is up 56-16 on Georgia State. That is late third quarter. LSU 56-7 over SELA. LSU needed to move the ball tonight. Play some offense. Guess who else did? Texas. Texas 55-0 over Sam Houston today. Arch Manning 18-21, 309. I think that's a big deal for Texas, honestly. You needed to show you could do it against somebody, and they really have not done that. Missouri 29-20 over South Carolina. Oklahoma 24-17 over Auburn. Talked about that one earlier. Ole Miss 45-10 over Tulane. Talked about that earlier. Tennessee 56-24 over UAB. Talked about that earlier. Memphis 32, Arkansas 31. Talked about that earlier. And Mississippi State 38, Northern Illinois 10. Think we hit that one in the video earlier today. So we are here to talk mostly Florida, Vanderbilt, LSU, Texas, but probably more than anybody Missouri, which is now 4-0. And I think UMass next week. Tell me, guys. You know your schedule. I don't have it in front of me. I think that's who you got next. All right. Some stuff in the chat. Auburn got robbed. Yeah, they got they got some bad end of calls in that one today. But yeah, I think this is Missouri's night so far. Blake says he may hop in a minute. Blake,
Chris,
you here?
You ready for a sneak attack here on this live stream? You can't see me, folks. I'm traveling, as you can see from the previous
Blake after dark.
But I had to come in and tell you that our guy Ahmad Hardy over at our friends at FanDuel right now, Chris Lee, plus 8,000 on the Heisman. What are we doing here?
Sorry. How many quarterbacks, like the top, how many are quarterbacks?
1 million, all of them.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought. We have no creativity with the Heisman. We really don't.
There's my contribution to the show. You guys are the best. We appreciate you. By the way, I'd like to apologize to Auburn and Oklahoma fans, Chris. My microphone was not working earlier.
Oh, no.
And I just found out. So you know how that goes. You're traveling. Nothing's working right. But they got things working right in Columbia, Missouri right now.
Auburn's offensive line wasn't working right either. But yeah, the Tigers. All right, Blake, while you're on, give me your impressions of Missouri. You've heard mine. I've been screaming this for weeks. This team's really good. It is complete. And I think it showed that to the world tonight.
Well, I think we all agreed coming into the season. I'm going to go back to that one question we asked on that random live stream, whenever that was. It was either July or early August. It only took me 2 seconds to get the question out of who was going to be the sleeper team in the SEC this year. We all in unison said Missouri. We pointed to the schedule. We pointed to the talent. And so far, both have applied to this start for the Tigers.
Yeah, I remember we did some bold predictions. I said, don't sleep on Missouri as a playoff contender. I think it was 800-1 at the time. What is it at the moment?
I don't see the updated odds right now, but we can discuss on Monday once they are updated. But I would expect that Hardy number, by the way, at the Heisman is plus 8,000. He's not going to jump into the top 5 or anything, but that's got to go up. I mean, how could it not at this point? It's got to go up. So,
and it's not just the stats, man. It's watching that dude.
Yeah.
I feel like he is a complete back.
He's good. He's a game changer. There's no question about it.
I mean, if you're naming SEC Player of the Year right now, your discussion is what? I mean, well, it's kind of too early, but I mean, he's got to be in there. Like he's your first team All SEC running back right now.
Oh yeah, no question. All right, there's my contribution to the show, Chris. You're welcome.
Thank you for that, Blake. After dark.
We can talk about South Carolina moving forward. Missouri fans continue to celebrate. Again, I apologize for those who watched the stream earlier. Me and Brian Edwards, I thought did a standout job, but the audio wasn't working correctly. And boy, Chris, Auburn fans pissed off right now after some of those calls. So, yeah. But anyways, carry on. You guys continue to leave your super chats, all that great stuff, and we appreciate you as always. Let's continue talking some SEC football.
Let's talk the South Carolina. If there are any Gamecocks in the chat, we have a few. Not as many tonight, I bet. But I want to know what you made of tonight. To me, I was a little bit more encouraged. I thought Missouri might just run away with this one. Not because I think Carolina's bad. I just think that much of Missouri, and I had concerns after last week. I think getting Sellers back, throwing 11 to throw, 2 touchdowns, no picks. I was surprised your running game did not get going. I think you got a couple of physical backs and Attaway and Faison. Not happening tonight. That was probably your downfall. So, I thought, yeah, Carolina, I think, losing by 9 at Missouri, it's not what you wanted. I thought it could have been a lot worse. I think this is a team that can still be competitive. They always get better as the season goes forward. So I thought Carolina was just going to run into a buzzsaw in Missouri. I think Missouri is capable of beating pretty much anybody. We're going to find out. Maybe that'll be a bad take a few weeks from now. But for now, that's how I feel after seeing them. I just think they have so many weapons. All right, get us in with your comments, your super chats. We'll basically hit whatever you want to hit here on these late games. Frankly, not much else to talk about. Maybe had Florida won, that would have been a topic of conversation. Was not. What did Florida have, like 40 yards at halftime? Goodness gracious, they barely got 100 now. 84 passing, 59 rushing. What is going on with Florida's offense? I don't get it. You've got, coming into the season, you got a center and a left tackle who were getting potential first-round grades. You got a quarterback whom everybody thought was the second coming. Getting 1-1 talk for next year's draft. Way premature, but that tells you about the talent. And now the Gators about to go to 1-3. And look, schedule's been brutal. I get it. But the easy part of the schedule comparatively is behind you. Those first 2 games were the easiest 2 you were going to have. And you went 1-1 there. By the way, how about Carson Beck? That kid has found new life in Miami. Maybe it would have worked just as well at Georgia, but it feels like a change of scenery there benefited pretty much everybody. So, yeah, I don't know what the future holds for Billy Napier. I have a feeling I know what it holds, but I guess the question is really more the timing. So, yeah, Missouri, by the way, upcoming schedule, UMass, Alabama, Auburn at Vanderbilt. That is going to be 3 really interesting games. I'll get to see Missouri here in Nashville. Really looking forward to that one. Someone asked, is Brent Key a reasonable coach? Oh, you know what? That would be, man, I think that might fit. I'd never thought of that. They're hard-nosed. They're tough. Are Brent Key's guys. He's done stuff with running quarterbacks. Arkansas's got one that he won't be there for a while. But, yeah, that's a good one. Sam wants to know how long till Hogs and Gators make a change. Allegedly the money is there for Florida. And that thing in Arkansas feels like it just needs to end for everybody's sake. Might end an AD change too, if we're being honest. What else? Let's see. Quick check of the scoreboard. Here's what we have as I'm doing this. Vanderbilt 56, Georgia State 15. Third quarter just ended. Diego Pavia played about a half in one series. It got him out of there. Vanderbilt's offense just had its way in that one. 6 touchdowns and 6 drives in the first half. Again, LSU and Sela. And again, a couple games tonight. Look, I don't put a lot of stock into teams like LSU and Texas beating teams that they can beat in their sleep 10 times out of 10. But as we noted, those teams have got some issues. Most notably, they've not been able to move the ball. Nussmeier tonight goes, 25-31, 273, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, over 500 yards of total offense for LSU against a Sela team that had played pretty well defensively. Now, it's FCS team, so what does that mean? Probably not much. And Texas, I think this is the one I was really watching. If Arch Manning comes out again and goes, 9 for 21 for 101 yards, we got trouble. Now, Sam Houston is awful defensively. I get it. But tonight, 18 to 21, 301, 3 touchdowns, 14.7 a throw, no picks. They run the ball for a little over 6.5 a carry. They hadn't done that all year. So Texas, your offense finally got it clicking. I know an awful team in Sam Houston, probably a bottom 10 or 15 team in the country. But, hey, you hadn't been executing against other teams. All right. Got a lot of Missouri fans in the chat. So if you guys are just hopping in, we'll talk about your team. You were, frankly, in the SEC, the story of the night. Unless you consider that Florida in a perverse sort of way. So we will take your questions, your comments, your super chats. I asked earlier, what are your concerns? And boy, did I get quick feedback on that. Secondary and kicker. Big plays in the secondary, particularly. Lenore Sellers had a big night tonight. So, yeah. Let's see. Mizzou fan 76. South Carolina ranked 11 before the Vandy loss. As a Missouri fan, I don't pay attention to rankings, but where do you think we end up in the AP tomorrow? Well, let me check the poll. Because, frankly, I don't pay a lot of attention to polls either. I think the AP voters, on the whole, preseason and probably postseason, do a good job. In season, particularly early, not so much. So let's do this. Missouri, you were coming into tonight. Why can't I find it? I'm sure y'all can help me out. William asked if Hardy is a Heisman candidate. Hey, William, you missed it. That's one of the things I led the show with. I said, why are we not talking about that kid as a Heisman candidate? All we talk about anymore as Heisman candidates are quarterbacks. That dude looks like a complete back to me. Now, let's see him do it against some more good defenses. That's coming later in the season. But, yeah, passes a look test, no question. Okay. Were you not ranked last week? Sorry, I'm dealing with all these pop-ups here. Okay, Missouri was 23rd. All right, let's look at what was in front of you. Auburn 22, Auburn lost. Michigan 21, Michigan beat Nebraska, so they're probably moving up. Vanderbilt is clocking Georgia State tonight, so they probably stay ahead of you. Indiana just murdered Illinois. So They're not going down. Georgia Tech, bye week, I believe. Or did they win today? Texas Tech won big. Utah got beat pretty badly. Tennessee's at 15. They won. Alabama's off. Ole Miss won big. Yeah, I think the issue is the teams in front of you did pretty well. Oklahoma at 11, they won. Texas at 8, they won. Now, Illinois will fall. Illinois will fall from 9, and I'm guessing they're going to fall below you. And Utah's going to fall. Might you pass a couple of teams that didn't play? Yeah, that could happen. I think somebody said 20 this week. That feels about right. Maybe 19. It's not going to matter. You guys need to just keep winning out because the playoff is firmly within your control. In fact, I'm going to look at something here. Missouri will be, according to what I have put together, odds makers may differ. And this is coming in, all the data coming into this week. So today's results not included. You're going to be about minus 45 on the road at UMass. You're probably going to be minus a touchdown at home against Alabama, or excuse me, plus a touchdown. I'm going to guess you'll be a 1 or 2 point favorite. No, wait, that game's at Auburn. Is that right? I think that's right. Yeah. That's going to be almost a toss-up. This has got Auburn by 1 here. Vanderbilt and Nashville, that's going to be a toss-up right now. This has got you by about a point. You're about a point dog at Auburn from what was coming into today. Again, that could change. A&M, I think you'll be maybe a field goal favorite in that one. Mississippi State, you got them at home. I'd say about a dozen. At Oklahoma, I think you'll be probably a field goal dog there. And Arkansas, you'll probably be 6, 7 point favorite. That one's on the road. That'll be a weird spot for Sam Pittman. So, what? All these games you're either favored in or you're a one-score dog? Hey, forget the polls. Those don't matter. What matters is you got a ball club and you got a schedule where you can win some of these games, I think. Jody's right. Missouri-Vandy is going to be a war. Just an absolute war. I think those teams are fun to watch offensively. Really fun to watch offensively. Going to be a different style. Missouri will go up tempo. Vanderbilt will slow it down. But yes, I agree. I will be there in the press box for that one and cannot wait. Blake, drop any other good questions and comments in here. If you're watching the national scoreboard tonight, some stuff of notice or of note. And by the way, Miami is about to, are they going to tack on another one against Florida? I looked up and they've got the ball first and goal inside the 1, second and goal. Yeah, they just went up and there's another touchdown. So Miami's going to take this going away. Florida must have turned it over while I turned my head. Stuff of note around the country. Oregon won big today. Florida State won big today. Not a big deal on either count. Didn't play great teams. Illinois got clobbered. I think, was Iowa State off today? I think so. Utah got clocked. I think that was at home too. Look out for Texas Tech. Texas Tech put a little bit of cash into that program in the offseason. Looks like it's paying off. And I mentioned that this is an SEC channel, but of course, these are the teams that you're going to need to keep tabs on as we get closer to the playoffs. All right, throw in your questions, your comments, your super chats. Blake, I'll have you throw these up on screen. Okay, how many SEC teams get in the playoffs in the end? Oh, gosh. Give me a minute to talk through that one, okay? Because here's what you've got elsewhere. And the ACC is starting to become a little bit of a problem for the SEC. Miami's looking really good. Clemson, they're done. Barring Clemson maybe running the table. Remember, because if you get the conference championship and you win that, then you get in. So Clemson's got to thread that needle. I don't see Clemson doing it. I'm just holding out for all the possibilities. But yeah, Clemson 1-3 after today. And I guess you've lost 2 ACC games. Chances Clemson's getting to the title game almost nil. So in that league, you've got, I think, Florida State, Georgia Tech are teams to watch. Cal, maybe. I want to see how good those guys are. Don't know if they played today. They've kind of been sneaky good in Miami. But I think you're going to see the ACC get 2, maybe 3. But the issue here is, okay, yeah, we thought ACC might be a one-bid league coming into the year. I think it's going to get more than that, and it might get 3. We'll see. We'll see. But so I'm gonna go 2 right now for the ACC. I think your group of 5 team right now would have to be Memphis if you're picking today. So that's 3 of your 12 off the board. Your Big Ten. Well, I'm gonna go back to the Big Ten because I think the Big 12 is only. Well, I say the Big 12 is only going to get 1. TCU and Texas Tech are both unbeaten, both playing really well. So now you got a little bit of an issue. You got more ACC teams that might be in there. And look, I'm spitballing. We're not even out of September yet, okay? But I'm just that the question was, how many does the SEC get? And a lot of that's going to depend on other places. So I will say, let's say the ACC gets 2 and the Big 12 gets 1. And then you've got your group of 5 team, which let's just call it Memphis for now. Now, the good news is Notre Dame. I don't think Notre Dame's going to make it. 2 losses already. Could do it, but just not a lot of opportunities for eye-popping wins on the schedule. So that's going to leave us, let's call it 8 between the Big Ten and the SEC. It could be 7. Oregon's looking pretty good. Southern Cal's look terrific. Indiana looked tremendous tonight. Michigan caught a loss to Oklahoma, but, won a big one today, got a chance. So let's say we get 2 ACC, 1 Big 12, 1 American, and then let's go Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, and either Southern Cal or did I say Penn State? I think 4 from the Big Ten probably. So I think you're looking at 4 from the SEC maybe. That's my best guess right now. And I think your contenders are you're looking at Texas, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, LSU, Ole Miss, Missouri, Oklahoma. Auburn could get in there. Of course, Georgia, A&M. How many teams is that? That's at least half the league. But, I mean, that's college football. Luke, you asked me a simple question. I hemmed and hawed for 5 minutes. It's not because I'm trying to avoid your answer. It's because that is how competitive this landscape is. So my guess right now is you get 4, does the SEC. And boy, it is going to be a dogfight to get there. Blake, throw something else up on the screen. Let me have another shot at another question here. Okay, while you're doing that, reminders, we are presented by our friends at GameTime SIDEKICKS, officially licensed. Stainless steel drinkware, all SEC schools, 350 other universities, stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce bottles, shaker cups, SE16. Get you 20% off your entire order at GameTimeSidekicks.com. ROKFORM, world's strongest magnetic phone case, extreme protection, super strong magnets, Rock Lock secure mounting. September is the busiest month of the year for the new iPhone release. Get SEC25 as your promo code. That gets you 25% off your entire order at ROKFORM.com. That is ROKFORM.com. HOVI Dry Goods makes your new favorite hat. Look no further than HOVI hats for high-quality headwear with a great fit and unique designs. Use your Bad Beat code of the week for last week. That was USC. We'll have a new one this week. Gamecocks lost their quarterback last week and a game to Vanderbilt. So that made them the Bad Beat team of the week. USC gets you 15% off your entire order at HOVIDryGoods.com. All right, Blake, throw something up on the screen for me to hit here. And we will go there. As we're doing this, Vanderbilt is still going with Georgia State. That one's 56-15. Let me see if everything else is in the books. Okay. Miami is going to run out the clock here, win this one 26-7. Texas 55-0 final over Sam Houston. LSU 56-10 over Sela. And, of course, all your games were earlier in the day. By the way, I didn't get a chance to weigh in on this, but I was impressed with the way Ole Miss handled Tulane today. Thought that might be a lot closer than it was. I think the line was 12 or 14. I thought Ole Miss would win. I didn't really have a lot of second thoughts about that, but I didn't think it would be 35 points. All right, will Missouri be a home favorite against Alabama? If I am guessing the line right now, Tori, I would go I think I'd go Alabama and a field goal, maybe. It could change. Alabama was off this week. That win over Wisconsin doesn't look as good after this weekend. And let's see. Alabama's got who next week? Oh, Georgia. And then Vanderbilt. So that's two really tough games for Alabama. So you guys have what? UMass and then you're off? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. See, hey, that's a great spot to be in, right? You get a tune-up game with UMass, and then you get a week to rest for Alabama. Who doesn't like that? 2 weeks to rest. Blake, what else we have here? Where does Bo Pribula rank in SEC quarterbacks? Okay, off the top of my head. I think I'd put John Mateer in front of him. I think I'd put Diego Pavia in front of him for now. I think based on history, I'd put Nussmeier ahead of him, but that could change. I'd put Taylor Green ahead of him. And I think that's about it. I mean, Ty Simpson's looked pretty good when he's played. Marcel Reed's looked good lately. Are those guys better than him? I don't think so. So that's what, solid top 5? I don't know. I think they're tough this year to rank. Blake, do we have anybody else here with a comment? Question, super chat, any of those? Somebody asked Carson Beck. I thought the question was SEC. So if I missed it, apologies. Frankly, I don't know. I don't watch the country enough to give you a super informed opinion on that. But all right, medal stand. Blake is asking for the medal stand. This is for the day. Off the top of my head, let's see. Your contenders have got to be Missouri, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. And yeah, I'm not saying some other teams didn't play well, but mostly they beat up on bad teams. So I'm going to go bronze medal as a team Ole Miss. I'm going to go I'm going to go Missouri silver, Oklahoma gold. Players, I'm going to go Ahmad Hardy would be a contender. Trinidad Chambliss, holy cow. 307 passing, 112 rushing. He's on the list. John Mateer would be on the list. Of candidates, Nussmeier, probably Diego Pavia. But I just, it's hard for me to give guys who beat up on nobody's the award. I'm going to go, I think I'll go bronze Ahmad Hardy, silver John Mateer, and gold Trinidad Chambliss. I mean, if you throw for 307 and rush for $112, that's pretty good work. Again, it gets a fairly good team in Tulane, one that took its first loss today. All right. Any other questions, comments, any of that before we get out of here? Blake weighing in says his medal stand, gold. Let's see. Excuse me. Dennis Gates with the bronze. I mean, how can we do a Missouri show and not mention Dennis Gates? Shame on me. Ahmad Hardy bronze, and Missouri fans the gold. Hey, you know what? How about Oklahoma's defensive line? They're probably in there too. They got 10 sacks today, or the defense did. I don't know if it was all on the line. That is crazy. I told you Oklahoma's defense, the Mateer talk was getting a lot of the talk. Their defense has been super stingy, and boy, they showed up today. Clint says Sellers is legit. Yeah, I agree. I think hopefully Lenore Sellers can do a lot of stuff. Look like they got their game going in the air again this week. So good for them. I want to see South Carolina be good. I was a little concerned they were headed towards a kind of non-competitive South Carolina year after watching them the first few weeks. But I'm not saying South Carolina's happy in a loss, but it went better than I thought it would. Andy asked if the scoop and score should have been called back. I need to get a better look at that one. I'll tell you this. I thought there were some very questionable non-calls on PIs. Gosh, there were 3 or 4 times in that game that I just said, and no disrespect to Oklahoma, they played well. I picked them to win. But it did not feel like Auburn got the long end of the officiating stick. Let's just put it that way. There were several calls. I was just kind of, and of course the touchdown call, that one, the replay guy was pretty adamant that should have been a personal foul and not a touchdown. So yeah, that was Auburn. You had a weird day. Not all your fault, but yeah, thought you played well. All right. Somebody says Oklahoma's not going to date me. That's fine. That's fine. You can do much better than me. Okay. Yeah, I guess we are out of time tonight, doing this solo. And again, did not get to watch everybody to the extent I wanted to today. I will review some box scores, watch some games, and we'll get back at it Monday. We'll have power rankings. We'll do your usual predictions. We'll do all that fun stuff. Not to mention basketball content. Blake and Max have been doing a tremendous job with basketball content. So appreciate those guys. But yeah, we'll be back at it. I think Monday morning is when we'll do power rankings. And look forward to those because, boy, we'll have some choices to make. All right. God bless you all. Appreciate you for watching. Again, subscribe to the channel, enable your notifications, all those good stuff. I'm Chris Lee, wishing you blessings and a good night's sleep. Thank you for watching Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel.